Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Taurus, so we have the Ace of Swords, which is all about, that finely tuned mental power, or the birth of ideas, coming into that space where you just get super innovative, where you start to see things for what they are when you turn in a new direction, or maybe you're looking backwards a little bit, maybe you're looking over your shoulder, but you are seeing things so much more clearly than you have in a long time. And that's something I'm happy to see, Taurus. I feel like a lot of us are coming out of the days of the last, 6 months, almost a year probably. And, trying to foresee what the future might hold for us. It's been a wild ride. No matter where you live, whatever you've been doing, if you've been immersed in the news or popular culture, or even, local stuff going on, or if you are more like myself, kind of tuned out in hermit mode, living your life kind of sequestered from the world, it doesn't matter. We know things have been different, right? Things have been difficult for a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of big things, fundamental shifts happening. And, that can become almost fatiguing, right? You get fatigued from it. But I feel like, where we had been just kind of depleted, I feel that we are coming into this period of time where there's a lot more clarity, and I feel like people are beginning to rally themselves again, once more. Let's go, Taurus. Let's turn this thing. Let's see what our tea leaves are going to show us. All right. And I want to thank you for deciding to click on this reading. It is always such an honor for me to be able to bring these readings to you. And also, if you want to subscribe, and I have to say this for the algo, subscribe, or leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. Ooh, 27. Oh, 127, really. 127. So we have a lot of feminine energy. It looks like you have sisters or close friends. We have 4 people all together. Over here, we have a mermaid, a siren. We have a plane right here. We have a flag planted right here. And we have a person here holding the fish. But we have that mermaid. So I can't help but feel that there was somebody in your life. I don't know if this was your first love. Maybe this was your first marriage, your first serious relationship. But I feel, or maybe not. Maybe it was like your second marriage. I don't know. But I feel like you found somebody who was a soulmate, who is a soulmate. I mean, I believe they're still alive. I don't think that you're together. Let me just say that right off the bat. I don't think that it worked out. But I feel like there is still the belief, like this is something that you know in your heart of hearts, soul of souls, you belong together. Now, maybe not in a romantic relationship, maybe not married or living together, but I do feel like you are bound together, souls traveling every configuration, right? You are very much from the same place. You are, what do they have? A soul contract. You are companions. You, I think in some lifetimes find each other and merge in, and things work the way that you would hope that they would with somebody that you are so intertwined with. But then there are other cycles. And, I know that there's this idea of like karmic relationships, which I don't like. I think that leaves a lot of room. I mean, possibly, it could be true. But I do feel that it leaves a lot of room for mistreatment. This is true of things like soul flames or whatever they're called, twin flames, and this kind of thing too. This idea that we are so closely intertwined with somebody that gives us some dominion over them, which is not the case. Right? That our behavior can be poor or even really kind of go over into mistreatment of others to get what I want, right? Which is my twin flame, and I don't like that. That's not, to me, it always has to be tempered with respect and love and being careful with one another. Right? To be the keepers of our kin. And so, and I'm not saying this is true of all, and I should not really throw shade on these terms because, listen, where they originate, I don't know. I don't know much about, these movements. But what I do know is that whatever spiritual system, jargon, paradigm, lens, there's always going to be room for misuse of it, right? So anyhow, I do feel that this is somebody who you just never get out of each other's lives, yet in this cycle, in this incarnation, it's been difficult. It's been one where I feel you've gotten back together and broken up over the years, decades probably. I feel that the feminine group of your life, right? I'm almost imagining like Little Women, right? Just a bunch of sisters, maybe a friends group or, whomever it might be, people at work that feel like your sisters. I really feel like they don't like this person. They are, very, very protective of you, which they should be, right? And I feel like in this next thing that happens, which it will, I think that you're in the cycle of not reuniting, but something going wrong. So I do feel like there will be a little bit of turmoil coming up with this soulmate person, but I feel like you have this real protective feminine energy around you, which is really going to help keep you moving forward instead of like spiraling out or, getting pulled back in or any of that. Okay. Now I want to go over this way. And oh, yes, let's talk about the airplane. The airplane's all about movement, right? Big movement. Like, I'm not just getting on the horse or I'm not getting in the car. I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying to the moon, right? I'm going far away. So I do feel like you are making a choice that is really going to be lasting. And your life is going to look a lot different in the next couple of years. I see things really shifting for you, and this is intentional. I believe that you have really decided for yourself that, like, you know what? I've lived my life by other people's ideas of what is wrong and right, what I should and shouldn't do for so long that I'm over it. And now it's time for Taurus, right? It is Taurus time, everybody. And that's where that flag really kind of... Now, I want to look up here because we have... Where did you go? Where are you? There they are. We have 2 swans. Here's one. Here's one. We also have one over here that looks like has its wings out. It looks upset. Now we also have the house in the middle, and it looks like we have maybe like an ankh, life, the mystery, the secret thing of life, the life-bringing thing, and we have the hook, or like kind of like a candy cane or a shepherd's pole thing. So we have these sacred symbols. We have the house. We have the swans. And we have a third person who just seems out of sorts, right? Like they're just on one. So I do feel that as you have been changing, and you've been going through, and maybe this is like that, 3/4 life crisis. It might be that middle life crisis, and it's not even a crisis. It's not about the crisis. It's about the shift. It's about the every 7 years becoming somebody else, right? And so I do feel like as you move away from that person that's been in your life forever, and it's really kept you attached to that early persona, right? Like that persona that you created in your early 20s when you were really trying to go from being a kid to an adult. And this person has anchored you in some ways, not always, has anchored you in that really childlike feeling, right? That youthful feeling that I have a lot of confusion about the world, right? I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try, right? I'm going to try my best. And it's kind of like when, say you went off to college, right? And then you decided, well, I'm going to get a job in this other place. And then you find like 10 years later, you've decided that, oh yeah, well, I don't know if I'll ever move home back to where I grew up. I've been out here for long enough, so why would I go back at this point? And then you go home to visit, right? So you're well established out in the world. You have become many other things and experienced many other places and people and so on and so forth. And then you go home to visit, and immediately you get back into that place that you were when you left. Like you're 17 years old, and your older brother is telling you what to do. And, everybody's making fun of this and that. And you're throwing little tantrums. And you're like, okay, well, I'm like 40 years old now. What is going on? But it is. Sometimes this happens. We get around certain people. We keep certain people in our lives. And they are so attached to an old way of being that it's hard not to kind of revert when you are around them or when they're in your life. And so that's what I feel like as you detach from this person, you're letting go of these aspects of self that just really aren't you anymore, and they don't serve you well. I think these are like those unrefined points. Being reactionary, impatient, saying things that you otherwise would not say to people. Things like calling names, right? Isn't it like really weird and off-putting to hear somebody who's like over 40 years old call somebody a name? I don't know about you, but I just find that wild. Like a normal, everyday person interaction. I'm not talking about comedy or you're entertaining in some way, or you're, like I said, hanging out with old friends, kind of reverting back to that old way. But it is true. Like, if I hear somebody who is like, older, 50, 60 years old, calling somebody names, it's like, what is going on that you haven't refined that out of yourself? Right? Like, you're just out here cursing people and behaving wildly with strangers and people who are in service work, and or even just people you work with, people that you commute near. But like, what? I understand it. We all have our days, right? But if this is a normal kind of behavior, it's like, what? We need to do some work, honey. So I do feel like for you, it is all about that refinement, that building up yourself, filling yourself up, becoming who you are, not who you were, not who other people thought you were or think you are. No, who you are, who you are. And so, I think this further upsets whoever this is on the outskirts. And that might be that old person that you are walking away from. But the other part of this is, I feel you finding people for your life, new people, or maybe they're old people from your life, people you've known, but you're reconnecting because you're getting away from this person. Not just because of that, but it changes how you feel about the world. It changes how you feel about being around other people, right? Having friendships. Have you ever been in a relationship where you were with somebody who didn't like people? Didn't want to have friends? I know, I'm not talking about my husband. If anybody here knows my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband Paul, he is very asocial. He comes off as, he's very warm, very charming, very inviting, but in our personal life and practice, very solitary person. He has a couple of his friends from back in the day and stuff, but he's just kind of the dude that likes to do his own thing. Now, that's not the kind of guy I'm talking about, which I love. I love being with somebody that's just on their own tip. He just absolutely, this is a guy that just, he doesn't get bored. He's always busy with something. He's always got projects. I love a project, man. Anyways, enough talking up my husband. He is great though. And, I'm not talking about a person like this. I'm talking about somebody who really doesn't like people, doesn't want to be around people, doesn't want to know your friends, doesn't like that you hang out with your friends so often or all the time, or why are you telling them about our personal life and this and that. And then you find yourself like very much on an island with this kind of person who you don't even know if you like them as a person. And you don't even know if they like you as a person, but you're here and you're stuck with them. Perceiving that you're stuck with them. And then you get out of this relationship somehow, some way, whatever. You break up and you get out of there. And all of a sudden, it's like the sun came up. You can breathe again. You have nobody on your butt worried about if you're texting your friends or this or that. And you realize, like, how was I living like that? How was I living like that? I didn't even realize. It's like the frog in water that's being heated up slowly. It does not even, I don't know. I don't like this example. Why am I even bringing this up? I don't like the idea of it, but you know what I'm getting at. Like, it's happening so slowly that you don't realize it until you get away from it. And so I do feel like this will be a time where you are connecting with people again. You're feeling so much more yourself than you have in a long time. Okay. So, I do also see the house blessed. It's at the middle. Sacred symbols all around it of life, of liberty, of the pursuit of abundance and wonderfulness or whatever. um, so let's go ahead. Let's move over to the other one. I'm excited though. I'm so stoked on this new season coming up. If you want to share what you have going on for the summer or winter, I'd love to hear about it. I know I ask like this on a lot of readings, but I really do. I'm like I'm nosy about people. I want to know what people are doing, what they're into, what's going on with them. But like, I'm nosy, but I don't actually, like, how do I say? Like, I like to know what the neighbors are doing, but like, I'm not telling anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I want information. I want to watch what's going on in the world. I want to hear what people are doing, what they're into, what they're vibing with, but not for any real good reason. Just because I like to know. I don't know. I'm nosy. I'm a Virgo. Come on now. Give me a break. So anyways, put that in the comments if you'd like. And we have the little heart right here. We have a little romance, maybe a brewing. We also have a person kind of in a votive posture of awe towards the sun, which we have right here. Oops, am I on? Over here. And then again, the house way up here. So the household is a big deal. And I think the thing is getting things in order and finally feeling comfortable in your own space. And that's the big emphasis, I think. Now, we also have the number 9090 and a different number of 7001. Okay, 7001, if that means anything to you. And then we have a person praying to the moon. So we do have this really nice balance. We have the solar worship. We have the lunar worship. And that leads me to believe that you are boring a new goal, a new reason to be really moving forward. So my thinking here is something to do with a skill, a job, maybe a career change. Maybe even it is like going to therapy, doing some kind of self-refinement, spiritual alchemy. Maybe you're getting into shadow work. I just listened to this really interesting thing about people doing, yeah, a lot of shadow work stuff. I'm not going to go into it. But anyways, yes. I feel like it has become popularized. Anyways, some of the Jungian ideas, which a lot of them have been popular because they've assimilated into just the way we speak about life and the world and psychology and psychotherapy and this kind of thing. But other things like shadow work coming up. And you might be asking, what the heck is shadow work, Lenor? You keep saying it, but what is it? Okay, yeah, it is. The practice of looking at our shadow, which if you could think of us as being this big circle, right? And within that circle, we contain all of the archetypes. The mother, the father, the old man, the crone, the magician, the trickster. There are a lot of archetypes, right? And we all have all of them within us. Now, we don't dwell in all of them all the time. We don't activate all of them all of the time. Some of them are more prominent than others. But, and where was I going with this? We have all of the archetypes, right? And so we have the solar, we have the lunar, and we have, oh my gosh, where was I going with it? I have the image in my head, but what was it? I got too lost in the weeds, you guys. Oh, not an uncommon occurrence for us, for me and all my archetypes. But anyways, basically, the sun, the moon being, the shadow. We were talking about shadow work. Yes. Okay. So within us, all archetypes, the shadow archetype is the place where we put things that we don't like about ourselves, or things that are too scary or too hard. If you could think of, the worst things that people can do, I'm not going to say them out loud because we all know what they are. If you, in your life, and I'm not saying that this is true, in your life have ever felt, such anger, for instance, that you felt like you could just, whatever, okay? And then you catch yourself and you think, ew, I'm not that kind of person. I would never be that kind of, I'm a pacifist. I'm a this, I'm a that. No. And you just kind of push it, bury it down, wrap it up, whatever. It goes into the shadow. Okay. So a lot of times we don't think, that was a weird reaction, or that was like, I know that I have this anger, or I have this proclivity for whatever. But if I just kind of don't look at it, maybe it'll go away. Well, that doesn't happen. It's like mold, right? If you leave it in a dark, damp place, it's gonna spread, right? It's gonna be all in the walls. It's gonna be all through that house. And it's gonna make you sick. It's gonna make you real sick. It's gonna distort the way that you experience yourself, you experience reality, you experience other people, so on and so forth, right? So, shadow work is intentionally and carefully, listen carefully, looking at these aspects of self and other things that have happened in our lives that we've put away. We've maybe buried them to protect ourselves or whatever it is. We begin to process some of this stuff. We begin to approach it. And depending on how you are doing your shadow work, there are a lot of different ways to experience shadow work and to work within it. So that's different for each person, of course. And so anyways, I do feel like for you, we have that sun moon, which really stands out to me because they were both people that were in a posture of devotion. So I feel like this is a place where you are really getting into balance. You're allowing yourself also the space and the energy to begin to maybe prepare to do some of this individuation work. Okay, and I think that's not a bad thing at all, especially if you are at a point where, things are changing for you. You yourself are changing. You're getting older, wiser. You are seeing that this is not a life to just kind of get along. This is not a life to just, find a way to bear it. Just to, I don't know, just to tolerate things. And sometimes, we do. And sometimes we are going to have to live that way. But that's not the totality of life, hopefully, right? So, all of this, and I'm sorry I got lost at the end. I hate when that happens. Try not to let it happen too often during my readings, but as some of you know, I am I'm on more than one spectrum, but ADD and on the autism spectrum, also PTSD. My brain is a little clunky at times, so you'll have to be patient with me. All right, Taurus. I want to tell you, no, we're not even there yet. Oh, Lenor, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what it is? It's a rainy day. It's so gorgeous. I've been loving watching it. The birds are out there in the rain looking for worms. It's just, I feel like I'm looking at a jungle outside. It's just beautiful. Anyways, 59, number 59. I get into these places where I'm just like, oh yes, I'm almost done, and I get to go look at the outside. Number 14. Number 14. My blueberry bushes I put in. I was just talking about this the other day. I was worried they weren't going to take hold, but they seem to be doing pretty well. And now we're getting some rain, so I'm excited. Hopefully they'll get some leaves on them. Okay, let's see. Number 79. Some new leaves would be great. All right, let's see. Wild Bohemian affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels the best. Number 7, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. I am free. I am free. Say it with me. I am free. I think one more time. I am free. That feels good. All right. I'm free. Good feeling thoughts are liberating. Freshness is a choice. It is a choice. All right. And we finish with our Dreamers deck. Okay. And I'll flip through, stop where it feels right, and turn it over. And it says, I know that worrying only binds me from the beauty that is all around me. I am not stressing. And I think this is like where I was trying to get with earlier, saying, about worrying about the world and its state of chaos, right? Of course, we all have to be mindful of what is going on, but getting lost in it. That stress for no reason, really, I find myself getting really pulled into the news at times, and I'll be, checking it all day, every day, and just, beside myself, worried. What's going on with the world? What the heck is happening? And I find that when I try to be as abstinent from all of this onslaught of doom, I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm more myself, for sure. Now, I'm very privileged to be able to do that, of course. Of course, there are things going on in my own community and in my own life that are not easy and difficult, but I am lucky, definitely. I'm not, unaware of that, for sure. But yeah, if we have a chance to kind of tune out of that stuff a little bit, I would take it, man. That's just my little 2 cents. I would take it if you can possibly, stay off of the social medias as well a little bit, just a little bit less, right? A little bit less. That's all we can hope for. I think it's helpful. I don't know. For me anyways, anecdotally it is. All right, Taurus, I'm going to stop talking your ear off. I love you. If you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, that would be wonderful. I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself. We'll talk soon, and good night.